Hi, it's me again. Um, I'm back, and back on this. Um, so sorry if you can hear my mouse in the background. I'm on a glass pad. Um, and I play a lot of FPS games, but today, it's Saturday. I just finished all of my classwork for the week. So I've been like, just really just chilling this week, and it's a nice feeling to be able to just hop on games and not have to worry about, oh, am I gonna have to do this and that. But um, I wanted to talk about just like life and whatnot today, because this is like the third day of the journal, or not really day, but third journal. Yesterday, I went to work at my job as as usual, and what I did really, uh, what I did yesterday was just my usual stuff. I didn't really do anything too crazy. I did my usual work, and I did um, I did my van work. I did brought the vans to where they need to be and whatnot. So usual stuff, usual stuff. But um, my classes have started, which is pretty good, pretty good for for me anyway. But um, um, I went to some couple places around the area, around my city. Usual stuff. Um, went around, did the usual, you know, um, deliver vans to wherever they need to be, the usual stuff, and meet people and do the, daily occurrence stuff of, dropping the vans off and getting new ones and whatnot, everything in between. But, you know, I was, a lot of the times I was thinking to myself, like how far I've come in the last like 4 or 5 years. Because, back in the day, it wasn't very pretty. It was not pretty at all. It was a lot of it was pretty bad back in the day. It wasn't very fun, to say the least. A lot of just little things annoyed me, and how far I've mellowed out in the last couple of years. Because before I was I used to be very aggressive in a sense. I used to be like very agitated at everything. The littlest of stuff annoyed me, and I never really found like pleasure in anything, if that makes sense. Like I would grind away on like random games at the time, and um I never really bothered to do anything else other than that, which kind of sucked because, I could have done a lot. at the time, but I just, never did. Um, and instead, I would just kind of sit in my room and just kind of mellow away in my corner of the globe, to say the least. Um, but now that I've gotten a little bit older and a little bit, I've gained some knowledge in my spare time. Um, I've come to see that I've mellowed out a fair amount. Because before I used to be a dick in my depressive era. I was kind of an asshole. And I didn't take very kindly to people. I was kind of mean. I was cold, ruthless, heartless, and I just did not care about people at all. I would like make fun of people and bully people and stuff like that. I'd bully myself a lot too, but after I hit the gym, after a couple years, um, what happened to me was kind of like I had this awakening call one day when I stepped on the scale and it said 215 pounds at the time, and I was like, wow, this is really really bad. Like, this is the worst that I have ever been at in my life. And I eventually started losing weight, as I should. And what I did really kind of like changed me as like a person. I really like became very narcissistic at the time. I was very much like an asshole. That was weird. My S key must have gotten stuck. But I was very much a narcissistic asshole at the time when I first started like exercising and working out, and I felt like I was better than everybody, and everybody around me was trash and stuff like that. And oh, if you didn't, exercise, or you were overweight or something like that, oh, you were stupid. You were a lesser being than me, which is it's not a smart way of thinking. And if you do think like that, give it some time and you'll mellow out yourself, or maybe not. And you'll end up living in that hole for a while. But I did mellow out after a while, and I eventually figured out that even in my case, overweight and obesity as a whole is not necessarily because you're lazy, or because you don't take care of yourself. It's just because of like mental things. It's not because of oh, you want to be, oh, you're just lazy. I mean, I was the same way. I dealt with a lot of like mental issues because nobody wants to be fat. Nobody wants to be like that. Nobody wants to be seen as like the fat kid in school, or in life, or anything like that, because it comes with a lot of health issues. It comes with premature death and everything else along those lines. But at the same time, you just kind of have to be mellow about how you treat others and whatnot about that, because I was in the same boat. I used to be the fat kid in school that everybody used to make fun of. Well, not really, but I made fun of myself because I was that fat kid, and I would wear hoodies all the time to hide it. I would wear hoodies to hide the fat that was basically surrounded me. And it was kind of like a constant reminder of, what I have done to myself in a way. And, I hated it. So eventually, I started to exercise and eat right and just focus on myself mostly, because it's crazy what, there's a saying like, oh, disappear for like 6 months and come back changed as a person and nobody will recognize you. And as much as that joke is, how haha Andrew Tate type beat, but no, in reality is it's very much a true thing. um you can disappear for 6 months and come back an entirely new person. And I feel like that's kind of the beauty in stuff like that is, you know, all it takes is like an awakening, and your entire life can change for the better or for the worse if you let it consume you in a way. But um what I found funny during my time, during the journey that I took myself on for about 2 3 years, was the slow self love that happened over time. And I noticed um, that I would go and I would notice, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear this shirt that I never really wore because, it was too tight fitting on me and it showed my fat off. I was like, I'm gonna wear this because I know I'm gonna get rid of this fat. This is gonna go away, and that I'm gonna be, attractive looking, and, things like that. And at the time, I didn't realize what I was doing, but, I had confidence in myself and what I looked like, and, the fact that I was like, oh, this is just gonna be temporary. This is gonna be, this is just, it's not a full, this isn't gonna be my life, uh, feeling, and, you know, it wasn't, which was nice to, know about, but, you know, the confidence that comes with stuff like that is it's crazy to think about. So it's kind of crazy to think about, but that's too close. How far have I been mining in here? Decently far. Decent. I don't usually build because I'm not very good at it. I never have been good at it. Um, I said before in a previous episode that, like, if I ever do build, it's always gonna be like a build tutorial like on YouTube from like a 9-year-old channel that like doesn't upload anymore and is just like, you know, dead at that point. But I still I want to be able to learn how to build, but I just probably will never take the time to learn how to build because, I just come into the mines and I get whatever I need. So, but You know, I I've been having my issue with like this is like one of my hobbies, but I really enjoy like computer mice and like peripherals for computer and everything in between. Um I kind of picked this hobby up like just randomly one day, and I was like, "Hey, this is pretty fun. I kind of like this. This is pretty fun. This mouse stuff's pretty cool." And I kind of just got into the hobby. Um Currently right now I'm on a Lamzu Atlantis, and basically um I've been having this issue where like it stutters, but every time I've tried to contact support, it's always fixed itself. As it goes, whenever you try to contact support, it always fixes itself. So I've been they want a video of the issue that's going on. And of course, as of right now, I can't supply them with that footage because it's not doing the stuttering thing. But, you know, I guess I'll do it when I can, but, you know, just your average day in the world of tech, I guess. But I really enjoy like mice and stuff, and I want to build my own keyboard eventually. That'll be fun. But I always love computer mice. I have four. Well, four actually. I have four or five. Yeah, I have like five. Six. Shit, I have six. Oh God, I'm a loser. Holy. I have my Lamzu Atlantis. I have my Pulsar X2. I have my Final Mouse Starlight 12. I have an original G Pro and a Death Adder V2. And then I have a Razer like Basilisk or whatever mouse that I used for my laptop at school that I don't really care about, that I'll beat up and not have a care in the world about. But I really enjoy like just the not only the complexity but like the engineering that goes into each mouse that's, been made, and the different, all the tech, all the shapes, all of the all the hardware that's in it. You know, if you ever need a tip on getting a mouse, you can come talk to me because I've experienced my fair share of mice in my days. So, um, most mice are they're not the same, if that makes sense. Some have better build quality, some have worse build quality. Sometimes the coding is different. It's all over the place with how mice are made and whatnot. It's crazy to think about that some mice are actually like entirely different. Like the thing is that some mice are clones of each other. That's like an actual thing. That is a thing. Is that some mice are clones of each other. I think the Lamzu is close to a endgame gear like XM1, or that might be the X2 if I remember correctly. But one of the Lamzus is like a copy of another mouse that's already out. Um, I used to play competitive Siege a lot, and during that era, I was um one of the um one of what's it um shoot whenever I would um man, I just had a brain fart. I just got a text from like the USPS package arrived at the warehouse but cannot be delivered due to incomplete address information. The dogs are going crazy. Whatever. That text is weird. Anyway, so I used to have a G Pro. I still have it actually. It's the original model. Um, Basically, I don't like the shape of the G Pro because it's too safe, if that makes sense. It's too much of a safe shape, and it doesn't fit my grip at all. Because there are different grip styles. There's claw grip, there's palm grip, there's like a combination of the two. I mean, there's like a bunch of grip styles to be had in the world of mice. It's crazy. Um, but the most fun thing about mice is just like seeing the innovation happen in real time. Like I remember back in like God, what was it like? Not even 2020, like 2017, 18. Like lightweight mice were considered like 80 grams, which was, at the time it was pretty good. I mean, the G Pro at the time was considered pretty lightweight. As we look back, that's not the case anymore. But back then, the G Pro was considered pretty lightweight for a mouse. And then now it's like that's heavy because, I mean, my lamb zoo itself is like 53 grams or something along that line. It's somewhere around that line of like 50 grams. And it's like, holy, how far have we come in the last, not even 5 years? And I would say like the biggest hitter of like getting the mice game to more of a lightweight area was Final Mouse. Now, I love Final Mouse, but I also hate them at the same time. Final Boy is notorious for just like blatantly lying at times. And it's funny to me because, you know, I have two Final Mice. I gave one to my roommate, but I have two of them. Um, and one's the tens Starlight Pro, and then the other one is my Phantom Small. And the funny thing about them is that they have never changed the shape of that mouse ever for like 10 years now. They have never changed the shape of those mice ever. And it's crazy to me. When they released the ultralight, they never bothered to change the shape ever since. And it's so funny to me. Because it's a decent shape. You can easily adapt to it, like no problem. But at the same time, it's like their mice are way overpriced for what they are. You know, you're looking at $189 for the ULX, and they just have so many QC problems. The shell flexing, the scroll wheels misaligned, the software glitching out or anything along those lines, or the shell cracking and breaking, and it's just like, man, this is $200 mouse, and I'm getting quality control that companies like Logitech or Lamzu would never in a million years allow that to pass their quality control. And it's crazy to me that Final Mouse is not really allowed, but like kind of has that prestige of like, yeah, we make all these hype mice, and oh, it'll improve your game and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, cool, but at the same time, it's like you guys are releasing a product that you know not everybody can afford. Not everybody can afford to drop $189 on a mouse that breaks in 2 months if you use it, too often. Which is why companies like Logitech and, Razer exist. And then of course there's like the smaller brands like, that are more enthusiast grade, like, Lamzu, Pulsar, and Game Gear, G Wolves, and all those other guys. Those are more of like an enthusiast mice companies. Lamzu being one of the newer companies on the list because I think they were made in like founded in like 2020 or something like, or maybe like 2021 or something along those lines. They're really really recent. And I love the Atlantis. It is my favorite mouse that I've ever used. And I liked the X2 when that was in my hands. Really enjoyed that mouse. Um, I thought the shape was great for my hand because I had never used a claw grip mouse before. Um, and when I did for the first time, I was like, wow, this fits my hand like a glove. I was like, wow, this is like the perfect shape for me. I was like, this is exactly what my hand needs. And the way to like kind of explain claw grip mice to people who have never used a mouse like that before is like, you know, it's kind of like, take like the G Pro shape, which is like an eggshell, and turn it kind of horizontal, not really horizontal, but kind of horizontal, and bring the hump slightly back so there's more in the palm and less on top of like at the base of your fingers or your the pads of your fingers. There's less I wouldn't really say support, but there's less, like stuff there. Um Claw grip mice, in my opinion, are like not really like creme de la creme, but like they're really, really nice because you can also use it for fingertip grip. With like the Lantis Mini, is that you can actually fingertip it all the way in the back. And it's just because the clicks are so light. Because, Lamsey went on a Twitter and asked, okay, what clicks should we put in the Atlantis? And everyone was like, Juano Pink Dots. Because those are some of the best, clicks that you can buy, that you can put in a mouse. And they did it. And it's very, very satisfying because the clicks are extremely light. They are, it's like the perfect mouse in a sense. It's like the perfect mouse for claw grip. And then, you have companies like Logitech where they've just re-released the G Pro for like this third time, and it's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. They play us like we're stupid, Which is why I like a lot of smaller companies instead of, these big name brands that do the exact same thing over and over and over and over again and expect us to, be suckers about it. And I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna sit here and like, do I think the G Pro X Superlight 85th edition, limited edition, Bruce Lee 8+16, edition is worth it? No, it's not. Like, I wholeheartedly say to people, I'm like, if you want a mouse that fits your grip style, then, talk to some nice people, go to reviewers, look at their videos, and see what fits your hand. If you want a mouse that you can just buy off the shelf, not have to give, not have a care in the world about, and just buy it and then not think about it, then yeah, you can get a G Pro. But I don't recommend it anymore because it's just it's too expensive for what it is really, which is a cheap, not really cheap, but it's the same thing as the original G Pro X Superlight. It's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Same shape, same coating, different clicks, and 2K hertz polling. Wow, that's totally worth the $150 price tag. That is super worth that $150 price tag. But, you know, can't always win people over because, you know, they'll stick to what they like, and if they like the G Pro, then they like the G Pro. If they don't, then, you know, they don't. It's, you know, it's not like it's the end of the world if you don't listen to my, you know, suggestions. It's my suggestion. I'm a guy who likes claw grip mice, and I enjoy claw grip mice. Some people don't like claw grip mice. They prefer a more, you know, ergonomic shape, which is, you know, completely fine. Completely fine. But, you know, I don't really like to buy mice from like Amazon or like Wish or Temu, God forbid, or like Alibaba. Like don't do that. Buy a mouse that's like $100 from like Lamzu, Pulsar, you know, even Razer. You can buy a Razer, you know, Viper Mini off Amazon for like $20. As you know, I just said I don't like to buy mice off Amazon, but like if you know, ain't got a lot of money and you want a decent mouse, the Viper Mini is the way to go. If you want a small mouse that can compete with the big boys, the Viper Mini's got you covered. $20 and you've got a pretty good mouse, you know, pretty good bang for your buck with that one. So I would wholeheartedly recommend that. If you want like a good ergo shape, G503 or the um, Razer Death Adder V3. That's also a good one. A lot of people use that one. So if you wanted a good ergo shape, Death Adder V3 is a good way to go. Or the new Pulsar, I forgot what it's called, or the Lamzu Thorn. That's a good one as well. Very good shape, quality's good, coating is fantastic. I have not had an issue with the coating. Now people might be thinking, oh, what's a coating got to do with the mouse? A lot, actually. Take for example my Pulsar X2. My Pulsar X2 is, I would say, a pretty good shape. It's a little bit more on the flatter side than what I'd like. As I went back to it for like a day or two. But the one thing about it that, you know, at the time I didn't really think about was that coating. That coating on the original, because they re-released it with, you know, updated internals and coatings and things like that. It's pretty bad. And what I mean by that is, um, the coating on a mouse can help with grip and sweat because, you know, your hand's naturally gonna, you know, get clammy and when you hold something in it after a long period of time, depending on your grip style. If you're fingertip gripping it, then probably not, but, you know, either way. Um, what what basically happened is that the coating on the Pulsar X2 is not very good. It's it's very not grippy at all, and it's very much a, like, it's very slippery. That's on the original model, So on the newer model, I don't know because I don't have it. And I'm not buying it again because I already have an X2 and I don't really want to rebuy it. But um, the coating on the X2 original is not very good. And it caused my hand to sweat very quickly and my hand would slip and I couldn't get a very good grip. Now, taking a Lamzu, and the coating is fantastic. My hand could, you know, sweat a little bit and it's still going to hold its grip. I'm not going to slip off. I can comfortably grip it and I'm not going to worry about it too much. Same thing with the G Pro. The G Pro has a great coating. Um, no complaints there either. Final Mouse, it's weird because their coding isn't great. It's like middle of the road. Like if I were to grade it on like a letter scale, it's like a B minus. It's okay. It's not, it's not like it's horrible like, some of these cheap mice or like the original Pulsar, but it's okay. It's not great. The honeycomb cutouts do get annoying after a while because, it's honeycomb and it's 2024. Why are we still doing honeycomb cutouts in 2024? I don't know why we're still doing that, but they are still doing it. Considering that the Lamzu Atlantis and the Pulsar X2 original, for God's sake, was 53 grams. 53. Without any holes in the top shell, which is pretty pretty good actually. That's actually pretty good. Getting that weight that low without having any holes in it, pretty good. Same thing with the what's it? The um what was I thinking about? I had the super light. Uh Death Adder mice have decent coding as well, but it's nothing to write home about. Yeah. Final Mouse's coding isn't like the best thing in the world. Their clicks on the Starlight model were very heavy. Even on the revamped versions, they're still pretty dang heavy. Um, Pulsar's clicks are very, very tense. They're not like properly. What's the word? They're not properly like dialed in. Even after being broken in for like a year, they're still not properly dialed in. So I need to get that squared away. Hey, that's some lava. But we got some more diamonds. But yeah, the coding on the Lamzu is absolutely fantastic, and I love it. Another thing I like is mice pads. Love them. I think it's an accessory that people don't really think about until they really get into the hobby or like really competitive like FPS game players because you don't really think about it. If you're a casual player, you're like, oh, I have this mouse pad, this like desk mat that I bought, and I'm like, well, here's the thing: there's a lot cooler stuff you can buy than a a $20 desk pad that you bought off Amazon. Um, there's hard pads, there's soft pads, there's hybrid pads. I mean, there's like everything under the sun. Now, my personal favorite type of like, desk pad is a glass mouse pad. Glass mouse pads are more of like an enthusiast thing, as I keep saying. It's more of like not really a gimmick, but more of like if you've got the extra money for it and you know what you're getting yourself into, this is something that you might want to consider. Because the way glass mouse pads work is it's a hard surface. It's glass. It's not some glass infused. It's literally a sheet of glass, tempered glass that has a bunch of other stuff in it, and you know it's a glass mouse pad. Now they're not cheap. Mine was about $90 to $100, but at the same time, when you do buy a glass mouse pad, you're getting quality that will never wear. That's the thing. You're paying a premium, yes, but at the same time, you're getting quality that never wears. A You're also getting a um a coating that never wears. It never slows down, and it will never ever wear. The only way that a glass mouse pad is going to wear is if you use glass skates on it. That's it. Because think about it. The only way that a glass wears down is if you scratch it a lot or if you break it. That's it. Because glass is glass, and glass breaks. Thanks, Jerry. But glass isn't necessarily gonna break that easy, especially when it's tempered, like what you get with a sky pad, or if you get with a sky pad, or something like that. Um, I have a Super Glide pad from Pulsar, and this is probably the pad that I would recommend to most people because it's got good glide, it's got good speed of gliding, it's got good stopping power so you can stop and you're not going to overshoot. It's got, it's got a good coating, and it's got, good resistance. Now, there's the other one that everybody likes to talk about, and it's Skypad. Skypad is the biggest one out there right now, and props to them. They're a small company here in the U.S. Props to them. They need it. We need more U.S. companies. Now, the thing with Skypad is that they're just made for speed. There's not a lot of stopping power behind them, and they're just made for speed. That's the thing you have to be careful of with those is that, again, they're only made for speed, and you're not going to have a lot of stopping power behind it unless you get, like really, really heavy skates and do some like custom modding on your mouse to make it a lot smoother and slower of a glide than if you were to just keep it stock. Um, but I really like the Pulsar pad because it's good for mostly everything. I would say the only thing it's not really good for is like MMOs and stuff because the thing with glass pads is that, it's kind of an investment thing because at the same time, your skates are gonna wear and they're gonna wear fast. That's why I recommend, if you ever get a new mouse, just to break in the old skates, like the factory skates, wear those down and then get like a pair of core pads or something along those lines so that you can have a more consistent and long-term glide. Now, if you're on a cloth pad, that's not the case. You can run whatever the heck you want and it's going to work just fine. Um some skates work better than others. There's more variety in cloth pads than there are in glass pads. For example, there's like the Artisan Hien, Shindekai, and Artisan pads are like the best of the best, if that makes sense. They're overall the best pads for the money that you can buy. But again, Artisan pads are very hard to get in the States because of the import tax, and on top of that, they take a while to get here because they ship straight from Japan. That's where they ship from. That's where they are. Artisan is a Japanese-made company, and they ship their pads to the United States from Japan. You can buy them on Amazon, but at the same time, very, very risky because they might be curled, and you don't want your pad to be curled up. Especially an Artisan pad where it's mostly, there might be glass infused in the pad, and it's like, you don't want it to curl because it could possibly damage the pad. So that's the reason why you don't want to, buy it off Amazon. But there's a lot of different pads that do a lot of different things. There's like slow pads, there's fast pads, there's a combination of the both, different price ranges, things like that. I mean, it's all over the place, and there's a lot of stuff you can do as well. Like if you wanted to play, it's like tactical shooters like Counter-Strike, Valorant, Rainbow Six Siege, things like that. You would want to go with a slow pad, a control pad, like a Zowie GXR, GXR, whatever it's called, a Zowie pad. Those are like most known for being slow pads, control pads for games like Counter-Strike, most common, and Valorant, most common. Um, for games like, let's say, Apex, you'd want a glass pad or Artisan Hien or something along those lines it's more of a faster pad that you can get, constant tracking with. Those are the type of pads that you want. Easy flicking, easy tracking, and just to, keep on your target and keep going. That's what you want in a pad. But most of, you know, most people in the community always usually like, they find what they like and they stick with it. Now, keyboards, that's another story. There is a bunch of stuff that you can do with keyboards that I couldn't even explain in this video, and I've already taken up almost an hour of me talking about computer mice and whatnot. But, you know, it's just a hobby interest of mine that I really, really enjoy. I really enjoy computer mice. I really enjoy the whole world of, you know, building mice and stuff. I'll probably talk about keyboards next video because, you know, it's getting close to that hour mark, and I kind of want to just get this video out and just, you know, get my third journal of the day in. But I don't know what I'm going to title this video. I'll probably just think of something up on the fly. But basically, yeah, that should be it for today. We got 12 diamonds, a stack of iron, and 28. Got a full set of iron armor, and got, you know, some more iron tools and whatnot, some more gold, some coal. I made my furnace and crafting bench that I'll take with me into the mines and everything else, and then got my cobblestone chest that I can probably just work on there. But anyway, I'm gonna go and get some lunch. I appreciate everybody stopping by who have ever, you know, bothered to watch my little journal. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you. Stay strong. Be safe. Love you.